Kelsey. This is my channel, The Fancy Hat Lady Reads. I'm wearing one of my fancy booktube hats, and today I'm bringing you my January book haul. Now, December and January are months for which I do individual book hauls for each month that are pretty hearty because December is Christmas and January is my birthday, and I received a lot of books for my birthday this year, which I'm very pleased with. And then in addition, I have some used book bargains that I found, so I'm very pleased to share these books with you. Here we go. So the first book I've got here is actually one that should have been in my December book haul, that I forgot to show in that video. This was a used book purchase for me, and this is Stardust by Neil Gaiman, and this is the edition that's these new editions that are coming out of a bunch of his books with these sort of retro cover art illustrations. So I got a great bargain on this for a really pretty edition. You may know if you've watched my channel for a while, I have a sort of mixed feeling relationship with Neil Gaiman's writing. I find a lot of his stuff just too genuinely creepy for me in an odd way. This seems to be known as one of his less creepy books, and also I have seen the movie and I liked the movie. So I think that this might be a Neil Gaiman book I would actually really like. So now I'm moving on to my birthday books, of which I have 6. I got 6 books for my birthday, and it was wonderful. 5 of these are from my aunt, who is a good source of recommendations for older sci-fi. There are 2 pairs of 2 that sort of go together with little explanation cards that she wrote, so I'm going to share some of the rationale behind these. So the first pair of books is Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein and The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. The logic behind this pairing is thus. If you want classic SF, you must read some Heinlein, okay? Unfortunately, he's a military guy, okay? So to balance him out, I'm including an anti-military classic. I will say that the anti-military classic, The Forever War, is a book that it has generally been on the periphery of my radar. Heinlein may be more famous and more classic, I don't know, but this is not a book I would have otherwise picked up for myself, so I'll see what I think of these 2. The next pairing of books that have their own internal rationale are Dandelion Wine by Ray Bradbury and Death Qualified by Kate Wilhelm. And the rationale behind these 2 is that these are both books by classic SF authors, but they are not SF because I think they did these better. I actually am embarrassed to admit that I don't know what Dandelion Wine is about, even though this is obviously a very famous book, and I feel like I should know what it is about. This is not as famous, so I'm not as embarrassed that I don't really know what this is about, except that I believe this is a courtroom drama and it's the first in a series. And then the last book that my aunt gave me is Chocky by John Wyndham. This is a sci-fi book from when? 1968, and this is a book that I did read as a kid, and I got rid of my copy and I don't remember it, and she thinks I should maybe try it again. It's not that long. This edition has an introduction by Margaret Atwood and a quote about the author from Joe Walton on the back, so I'm intrigued, and I remember nothing about this book from when I'm pretty sure I read it as a kid. I gather that this is about a kid who has like an alien imaginary friend living in his brain. Except it's not an imaginary friend, it's a real alien. And then this last book that I got for my birthday was from my mom, and I knew this was coming because I asked for it, but I'm still super happy, and that is the Starlit Wood New Fairy Tales. This is a relatively new release anthology from Saga Press, and it has a bunch of authors in it that I either already know that I like or am interested in reading. Despite the title New Fairy Tales, these are all retellings, and a lot of them are retellings of less familiar stories, which I am really excited about, because a lot of the time the way I discover new original fairy tales that I was unaware of before is by reading retellings of them and then tracing back the source material. So I'm really excited about this. Just a few of the authors I recognize in this collection are Shannon McGuire, Charlie Jane Anders, Catherine M. Valente, Garth Nix, Theodora Goss, Kat Howard, Naomi Novik. Yes, I'm very, very excited to read these. And then the last few things I have to show you here are super, super bargain deals that I got at used bookstores. The first two are mass market paperbacks that I picked up for 50 cents each. I love used bookstores with 50-cent mass market paperbacks. The first is another fantasy anthology. I'm picking up a lot of anthologies and short story collections lately. This is called Faery! Exclamation point. It's edited by Terri Windling. I laugh a bit because Faery! Exclamation point seems a bit cheesy, but then I realize that would be hypocritical of me to laugh because my channel name also has the enthusiastic exclamation point thing going on, so I am not in a position to judge. This has in it a Patricia McKillop story that I haven't read before, a Robin McKinley story that I have read. It's got an Angela Carter story, and it's got a couple traditional Scots ballads, Thomas the Rhymer, just the original ballad, and the Elfin Knight, which is one I've never heard of. So this is going to be a bunch of older fae and fairy stories. When was this anthology published? This anthology was published in 1985. And maybe I'll discover some authors in this that I haven't read before that I like, who knows? And then my second 50-cent mass market paperback is The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul by Douglas Adams. This is the second of the Dirk Gently books. I have the first one. I haven't read it yet. I also got it for 50 cents or $1. So even though I haven't read that yet, I picked this up because I think it's a matching edition mass market paperback, and it was 50 cents. And this book has one of the best book titles that I can think of, ever. And then the last two things I have here come from one of my favorite used bookstores that recently added a small selection of audiobook CDs to their $1 bargain section. And if you're at all familiar with the general pricing on audiobooks and audiobook CDs, you will agree with me that that is a mind-blowingly good deal. The first one is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. And I hate to say this, but I didn't notice when I purchased this. I got it home and realized this is an advanced listening copy that should not have been sold to a used bookstore because you're not supposed to sell advanced copies of books. You're not supposed to make a profit on them. So this shouldn't really have been in a used bookstore to begin with. I did not notice though until I had got it home. I'm definitely still going to listen to it, but little announcement about how advanced copies of things are supposed to work. But anyways, Rainbow Rowell is a really popular author on BookTube, but I've never read anything of hers. I gather that this is one of her adult books, even though she's maybe best known as a YA author. This is about a woman whose marriage is maybe falling apart a bit, and she ends up having phone conversations with her husband's past self, I think, and the question is whether these phone conversations will somehow repair her marriage. Anyways, it's not a book I probably would have picked up otherwise, except that a $1 audiobook is a really, really good deal. And then the second used audiobook that I got is The Secret Horses of Briar Hill by Megan Shepherd, and this one I'm very excited about. This is still shrink-wrapped like new, even though I got it at a used bookstore. The list price on this is $30. I got it for $1, and this is actually a book that was already on my radar. It's a 2016 new release middle grade novel. I think it's about a girl in a hospital who can see these magical horses living on the other side of the mirrors in the hospital. Anyways, it should be really short. This is only a 5-hour long audiobook, and I've seen the book in print, and it's not a long book. But I'm hoping to get to this soon, and I'll let you know all about it when I do. Okie dokie, so that's my January book haul. Let me know what you think of these books. As always, feel free to comment with anything you want to comment about. I hope you all are having a nice day. Bye for now.